Hello, and welcome to another episode of my tutorial series here on Mustache Laugh Gaming. And this one's gonna be probably probably at least a two-parter. There's a fair amount to cover, and well, I have to split it up because it takes forever for things to get you know uploaded to YouTube when you have really crappy internet like I do. So anyway, let's see if anybody wants to say hi to YouTube. But I want to say hi to YouTube. And then we can get started. Uh, Now, first off, if you're looking for new agents to do missions with, say you're just starting out, which you probably are if you're watching a tutorial video on, you know, missioning, just go and press that little button like I just did, the Agent Finder button, and you can choose what kind of faction. Factions such as the Amar Empire, the Kaldari, even some of the pirate factions. So that's kind of a later on thing. Now I want to do Kaldari state missions because I'm in Kaldari space currently. Now keep in mind, just because you're in, you know, Kaldari space does not mean that you're gonna, you know, always have just Kaldari agents, for example. Um, some agents can be from Galente corporations or Minmatar corporations or Amar for the sake of inclusiveness. So you really get a pretty good mix if you want to grind somebody else's standing, but you'd rather be in a different area. Um, you can also pick which specific corporation. Say you're looking to, to work specifically with Space Lane Patrol or um, any of these really. Space Lane Patrol tends to have the most security missions and the broadest variety of them in terms of agent levels. Um, you can also, by the way, you can also filter by region and security status and stuff like that down here. Um, we'll see. But the levels you got 1 through 5. 5 is there's generally not very many of them, but that's like uber difficult. Let me toggle that. See, and they're generally in like low security. They're going to be the best paying. They're also going to be the hardest. And four is what the majority of like hardcore missioners end up doing. It seems like if you see somebody that says, "Oh, I can do level fours," they've probably been at it for a bit and they're probably fairly serious about it. Level threes are pretty easy to get to. Generally, if you play a lot, you can get to level three missions within about a week. Um, twos twos are pretty good. I would suggest being a destroyer by the time you do that, or by the time you go to level twos, if not a cruiser. Generally, though, you'll be able to get a cruiser within just a couple of you know missions, relatively speaking. It won't take long to get into a cruiser. Then you just have to train the appropriate weapons and shields and shit like that. But that's not what this is about. It's about missioning. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to be in a cruiser by the time you hit threes, for sure. At least a cruiser, probably battle cruiser. Um, and ships, by the way, are actually fairly easy to train into. It's really all the other little stuff that really makes them fly well. Uh, let's see. So let's say you find an agent. Open that back up. I got kind of jumpy. Uh, okay, so you find an agent. Now, if you want to get to them, now you can always just right click on this and click set destination. And that'll get you to the right system. It didn't pop up there because I'm already here. He's this guy here. But let's say I wanted to go to this guy. Well, I just click on his name. Generally, it'll start off on description. Click over to agent info. And you can right-click, set destination, and that will get you, see that little hollow box is the station that he's actually in. So that'll help you autopilot to it. But again, I'm happy where I am at the moment, so I'm just gonna remove this waypoint, and that's pretty much that as far as finding an agent. Next, all you have to do is when you get there, you double click on the agent, and I just did this mission. Um, Now I've actually already declined a mission because I had my reasons. Um, and this mission specifically is actually why, because it's a fairly involved one. It's more because it has a lot of enemies and stuff that you have to deal with, which is fine. That's just what most people running security missions are here to do, is blow stuff up. But it's also a really good example of a lot of the stuff you'll see in different missions. Now, over here you've got your little flavor text and stuff like that. You've also got a warning. You've got a warning here saying that if you decline within the next 3 hours and 24 minutes, it'll result in a loss of standing with this agent. Now, that's fairly important. Um, Now, you don't want to lose standing if you can help it. Or if you know, because, well, it's taking me a second. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. Uh, Basically, standing is this right here. And standing affects everything from the agent all the way up to the Empire, all the way up to the Kaldari state for this guy, for example. And it's all factored in, it's all averaged in. And the higher your standing gets, once you get, say, with Space Lane Patrol, let's say I did enough missions with this guy, and I ground my standing up to 2 with Space Lane Patrol, which is not too hard. I mean, that would be equivalent, essentially, to getting 2 agents up to a 10.0 standing, which is the max standing. That's like, oh my goodness, we love you, stay with us forever standing. That will get me the ability to do level 2 missions, and once it's to level 3 with Space Lane Patrol, I can do, or to where it's a rating of 3 with Space Lane Patrol, I can do level 3 missions, and, well, I assume you see a pattern here. And that also affects, to some degree, the missions you will get within those groups, and the pay you get, and a few other things that are a little less important. Now, the timer's actually supposed to be 4 hours, but it's been a while. So you see here, it's 3 and 32. But basically, you can decline missions. Just once you do it, you have to wait 4 hours until you can do it again without some standing loss or anything like that. Because I don't want to do this mission again, let's click decline and see what the standing loss looks like. Just for the sake of for science. That's it. Because science. 1.5. That is a big ass standing loss. Okay. That's a lot. Oh, okay. Well, I can do this one. It's not too bad. This will definitely need to be a 2-parter. Another thing here. Okay, so you got your. You'll need to grab this stuff. If you have to grab something, it'll tell you, and that'll actually pop out of an enemy you kill or a container or whatever, and you'll just go over to the container and grab it, put it in your hold, and come back to your home base. So, and this is where you need to drop it off again. Right, this time it's home base. Sometimes it's not, but generally it is. Yes, I'm moving my mouse cursor around a lot because, well, you can't see my hands moving, and I gesture a lot when I talk, so this is how I'll make up for it. You're welcome. Okay. Also, a lot of times the missions will be in the next system. So you just right-click, set destination, just like I showed you with the agent finder, and there you go. Also, several missions have this. Now, sometimes you will not be able to use your ship. Generally, if you're in a frigate, you're okay. And it will tell you your rifter can access it if you're flying a rifter. Or it'll tell you your, hell, I don't know, Raven if you're flying the Caldari battleship. That's just so awesome. Which I actually really like flying the Raven, but I'm on an alt right now. So this is what we're stuck with. So you just check that, you make sure everything's good. It's good. Down here, you see you're going to get 97,000 ISKs for completing this mission, and 99 loyalty points. We'll get more into loyalty points later, probably in the next video or the video after that. And then you're good to go. Now, bonus rewards, if you complete the mission quickly enough, you get, you know, extra money. In this case, 86,000 ISK. Now, this is decently well paying for a tier 1 mission or a level 1 mission, but it's not that great mission. Or great, excuse me. Christmas dinner is starting to mess with me. Something to keep in mind is if you're in a lower security status system, these missions will both be more difficult and more rewarding financially. That is something to keep in mind. So if you want missions that are kind of just throwaway missions that are just real easy to just piss through, go to a higher security system. If you want higher stakes missions, you want to go to a lower security system like 0.5, 0.6, or 4 or 3, 2, 1, whatever. But generally by then you're doing higher tier missions. So if you're doing level 1s, probably not going to be worrying too much about going into really low security, unless you're just like YOLO all the way through. In which case, balls to you, sir, or ma'am, because, you know, there are women that play this game. Like, surprisingly large number of women, in fact. Which is cool. That's totally awesome. Women should play video games. Everybody should play video games. The Pope should play video games. Seriously, he needs to do something else. Not that was whatever. Anyway, just me being weird, because I am. Anyway, so you click accept, or you can click decline, but we've already seen what happens when you do that, and I don't want to do that again. So we're going to accept this. I'm going to go ahead and start in this video to get us there, and in the next video, we'll do the mission and talk about that and see how far we get. So press undock, like you always do. Take a sip of your drink, because you're thirsty. Because it's good. Alright, now, you have a couple of options. Right-click in space. That'll give you your home base and stuff, but whatever. You can go over to Yoma, for example, on the Stargates list. You can click jump, or you can click here and click jump as well.
Warp drive active.
This will warp you to 0 on the gate and then automatically jump you through. Do not, under any circumstances, ever, unless you're not transporting anything of value, you really don't care if you explode and you're gonna go piss off for a minute, ever use autopilot. Just don't. Quite simply. That's really the long and short of that. More the long because I'm so talky. I like making mouth sounds. Sue me. Alright, so here we go. We have made it to the place, to the next system. You'll be cloaked for a couple of minutes, but if you start moving, just right-click in space, by the way, and just like you did, but you go to Encounter Dead Space. You'll see the name of the mission, Encounter Dead Space, and then Warp to Location.
Warp drive active.
And you will warp to location. And I'll accidentally click some shit when I'm trying to click. Yes. I kind of like the opportunities things that they added in recently, but at the same time, when you've been playing for as long as I have, it, hell, it's just so damn agitating because it's always popping up. It's like, hey, you did a thing. Well, that's great, man. That's real great. All right, well, we've hit the warp gate or the acceleration gate. Now, what you'll do, and this will pretty much be the start of the next video. What we will do is right-click on that, and we'll probably either approach it or how far off is it? Yeah, we'll have to approach it. We can just press activate gate, and that'll bring us closer to it. But that's going to be the first part of this video, guys, and we're going to start off with the next one here in just a moment.